to my first video of 2025. Like I mentioned in my New Year's resolutions, my biggest goal for this year is to learn and improve my art and my portfolio. So in this video, I will be focusing on drawing all of the things that I hate and I avoid drawing in my art, which are perspectives. I really struggle drawing perspective. It's something that I actively avoid when I have to design my scenes. Interior design, but also architecture and men, strangely enough. If that sounds like something you are interested in, stick around by the end of the video and I'll show you an illustration that has all of these elements in it.
The first thing I wanted to tackle was perspective and interiors, since I find that those two are very related to each other. Why I avoid drawing interiors is because I'm terrible at drawing perspective and vice versa. So I headed over to Pinterest and found some studies on perspective as well as some reference photos I could use. In all the studies, what I noticed was people establish their vanishing points before starting to do anything else. The vanishing point is your guide for how all the lines and angles of the sketch would be. So I went over to Procreate, selected the canvas menu and then clicked on drawing guide. Underneath there's an option to edit the drawing guide, so I went over to the perspective tab and started playing around with the vanishing points. I placed only one point to start with. Later on we can try out more complex perspectives. Having my guide and my reference, I started sketching my scene following all the lines leading to the vanishing point. The next exercise on perspective would be to draw a scene from a reference without the help of the drawing guide, and see if I can follow the same logic but without having the help of the lines to guide me. It definitely took longer to sketch this out, but you learn a lot from practicing this way, and you can apply this on any topic you can think of. Faces, hands, animals, landscapes. Start with some guides first to get the hang of it, and then try to replicate it on your own without the help of them. Lastly, the final exercise would be to make up my own scene without references and with my own vanishing points, and make it look realistic enough so you couldn't tell that I made this scene up. I was pretty happy with the progress and I was ready to move on to the last area I needed a lot of work on, which was male character designs. Repeating the process out of the previous exercises, I went to Pinterest again and started looking at designs that other artists have made and why and how they worked. It's not good to do this too much because it's a fine line between copying someone's work and learning from it. There's nothing wrong with using others' art as guides, but try not to use it when you're designing your own illustrations or you're planning to share the art online. I picked different artists with very different designs to see what I could learn from how they simplified the faces and the lines they used. Then drew 3 characters from references facing to the side, and I had to imagine how they would look like facing forward. Just like the second exercise with perspective, it was really hard to figure it out on my own, but in the struggle I learned better how the proportions should look like and what I shouldn't do. I then proceeded to draw some anatomy studies, simplifying the shapes where I can, so I can replicate it in whatever position I needed to in my art. I also did a quick study with the same steps of a few children just to practice drawing boys further. After all those steps, I was finally ready to design a scene.
Once that was done, I took all of these elements and I started thinking about what kind of ideas would come up by combining these 3 things: perspective, environment, and architecture. Illustration full of boys and their dads. My first initial idea was to make a scene where a bunch of little boys play football together and their dads are cheering them on the sidelines. but I ended up pivoting and choosing a topic that was more aligned with what I enjoy illustrating for my clients. So I ended up making this scene of a dad and his son in the child's room having a pillow fight, and there's a lot of little elements of the perspective in the scene that I know will be difficult for me, but it will be very helpful in getting more comfortable drawing scenes like this. Hello again! It's been a few days since the last clip. I was really wondering how to proceed with this illustration, mostly because I didn't manage to finish it for the ending of this video. I really wanted to show you the final result to have a nice ending, but it made me realize something that I'd like to put across in my videos, that a lot of times on social media drawing seems like it's a really easy, really quick process, but in reality, in my experience, it takes a really long time to make something you are happy with, especially when you're drawing something you're not comfortable with. And I didn't want to rush this, give you the wrong idea of how you're supposed to do these challenges and how you're supposed to study and learn. So I really want to take my time with this illustration. I want to make it as best as possible, and for that to happen I would need to work on it a week or two more just to make sure everything is great and I'm happy with it. But I will show you the sketching, the color blocking, the shadows, all of that. I'm a bit bummed by that, but in reality it takes quite a long time to do something that you want to include in your portfolio like it is in my case. So I hope you still enjoy. Let me show you what I've done. If you enjoyed this breakdown and this exercise, make sure to leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. This was really fun and really challenging for me, but I think it could be very helpful for you as well if you're also struggling with the same things I am. If you do any of these exercises, let me know down in the comments. And with that, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.